Hermano. Hey, Hermano.
Hey, Hermano. Welcome back to this third episode of Hey Hermano podcast. Here with my two other hosts, Alec and Kevin.
Yo.
How you guys doing today?
Not too bad.
I feel tickled.
Tickled?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And I'm not tickling you.
This is honestly, this is probably one of the best starts I've had to the day when we're recording podcasts and stuff. Just come over, kind of hang out, eat some breakfast. Got a nice cup of coffee here. Just
Living.
It's quaint.
This is probably how we should start every Sunday.
Right?
I'm not opposed to it.
But you sound like you are opposing to it.
It is Josh's birthday today.
It is.
It is.
He is a whopping 22 years old.
A whopping.
Happy birthday.
Stop. I think that's trademarked, actually. You know what's kind of messed up?
Feliz cumpleaños.
I think Michael Jackson owned the rights to Happy Birthday.
Disney owns the right to Happy Birthday,
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I think it now is just released. So that's why when you went to like restaurants, it was always that fake version.
They had to come up with a different version.
You know what? I think I did know that.
What a messed up.
I know.
Who just takes
It's
it?
like Ohio State. It's like
Copyrights it.
Ohio State trying to trademark the,
Yeah, that was.
which they were shot down.
Okay, they should be.
Yeah, I know.
Ohio State tried to trademark the word the.
They had
Yes.
the shirts. It was literally just the word the, and like Ohio State underneath it.
When was this?
Recently, like August.
It's been going on, I think, the last couple
Oh my
months.
God.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
It is horrible.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
There are greater tragedies in the world, and to try to copyright the word the.
I mean, personally,
Trademark, whatever.
I'm not a big fan of college football in like any aspect, really. I think it just brings up completely wrong things. It's like, okay, these kids are going to school. Okay, if they want to participate in sports in school, that's fine. But they need to focus on education first instead of, okay, coaches and teachers are giving them buys. Their education's more on the back burner because all their focus is on football, and then you have all these people benefiting off of the college players financially, like the NCAA.
Do you know what's going on right now in college sports?
California actually just passed the first.
It was this week.
Yeah.
I know. Well, that's why I was bringing that up.
The endorsements.
I was gonna go to that.
Which is, I think they. Well, did you see what Tim Tebow said yesterday?
I didn't see what he said. I was listening to the radio, and they were talking about something with Tim Tebow saying something.
So Tim Tebow basically came out and said that the players who go to school, work every day for that, they're like, oh, they don't. All the money that they're getting, he said his jersey was the third top selling jersey in sports in the world in his year. So it was LeBron. There was another guy. But there's two other big name guys.
I think he went. Did he go to Florida?
Yes, and he was like, "Oh, that's. I just wanted to play for the school. I know what I was getting into." I'm like, "Come on, man. You have to be making some money because those guys. I mean, yeah, they're on scholarship, but they're literally like slaves."
Yeah.
To the
and
organization.
that's something that, and it's
like
funny.
It's prostitution.
It's funny
Pretty
to
much.
say this because I've done some research into it. You know, I've looked into this kind of thing, and it's been here and there. It's not like I've done hardcore research into it, but looking at it, the thing that kind of like opened my eyes to it was the show Blue Mountain State. Because
Really?
they covered that pretty well, and
With the secret taking of there's so much corruption and stuff that Louisville,
Especially in the NCAA.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the coach was doing?
Mm-mm.
He was bringing prostitutes in.
Oh, you know what? I think I did hear
Was it
that.
for
I didn't know
college
that was
basketball?
Louisville.
Yeah,
It
and
is
that dude.
Louisville.
Oh,
I didn't
who
know
the
that.
heck Was that? I can't remember who that was. But yeah, he was. Yeah, that's
I
right.
mean,
I remember that he was
it's-
bringing in the prostitutes. And
It's
everything.
ridiculous because you see like these different coaches that are like we were just watching that thing about the Oakland Raiders the other day about the coach who was giving extra money to players just to injure
That
other
wa- that
players.
That wasn't
I'm
the.
pretty sure
That was
that
the Saints,
Oh, was it?
that wasn't the
I'm sorry.
Raiders.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't.
and that
mean to
was
put
that
any
was
hate out on the Raiders.
Greg Williams.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
not a dirty coach though.
You
Okay,
know
hold
what?
on.
For
Hold-
what he did last year with the Browns,
I know. I respect him.
he
Well,
did
not-
he did a very good job with the Browns last year.
Yes.
You know, taking over after Hugh Jackson got shit canned. Yeah,
Mhm.
he did good, but
Going back to sorry to
You're
cut
good.
you.
No,
I want to
you're
go
good.
back to
You're good.
college.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um,
I didn't mean to
So
take us off there.
out of all there's 200 something D1 schools. You know
Mhm.
how many make a profit?
no.
20.
Go ahead.
20 teams.
I was gonna say it's either gonna be a lot or a little.
Yeah.
There's 20 teams. So, but those teams that are making, I mean, think of we know what teams are making the profit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's.
But so you're making this huge profit.
Mhm.
Where is all those millions and millions of dollars going? Probably potentially billions.
Well, and that's the thing because not to kind of stray you off of that, and it's just kind of a quick little thing, but people don't think about that. People don't think about that at all. You don't.
It's coming to
It-
fruition.
It is, but that's because more people are speaking out about it. Like, you see these like okay, I have nothing against cancer research, but with the amount of people who donate money towards cancer research, they can only strive so far with the money that they have before they hit a wall and they can't figure anything out.
Well, I
Yet
think
they're
actually-
still
well,
bringing in these funds, and they don't have like they've
Hold
got
on.
top of the line equipment. You can only go so far with the lab
Hold on,
type
hold
of
on.
thing.
I think they actually found some type of cure for a type of cancer this week.
Okay, we'll bring that up.
I believe that there is a cure for cancer.
Oh no,
However,
absolutely.
They're not going to fund it
Are we-
because
of
the
pharmaceutical
insurance companies
companies.
make too much money.
Yeah.
We're going to go into this. There's so much.
This is such a
conspiracy.
deep topic.
We're not-
We could honestly
I'm-
spend
it
an
really
hour
is.
on it.
Yeah,
But the whole thing I was getting at is you have these different companies like Goodwill. Okay, so many people donate clothes to
hold on.
Goodwill.
Johnson and Johnson.
Well,
Yeah.
That's the whole opioid thing that we can get into.
There's a broad range we can cover.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, if anyone is interested in that, just look up Johnson and Johnson. Look what they were doing.
yeah.
That just kind of proves how messed up companies can be.
There's so many corrupt companies out there, and the
Uh-huh.
big Fortune 500 companies, the corruption starts at the top, and it's
What?
stats. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Boston-
Stats at the
Yeah,
top.
really
Boston
stats.
accent
It stats up there.
No, it starts at the top, and it just trickles down, and those companies reach into the community. It affects all of those people around them, and
It's not even
it's
just that.
disgusting.
It affects like with this opioid thing, the amount of people who lose loved ones to this, the amount of people who lose their lives because of it, because they get so caught up in this and they get addicted and they die and all this stuff. It's like, I mean, especially being in this area, there is a large amount of people who get addicted to stuff around here. There's a large drug trafficking
it's
type
everywhere.
of thing.
It's not just here.
you know,
It's everywhere.
Well, no, I'm saying especially in this
Well,
area.
I mean, we
Like,
have Toledo, the sex trafficking capital
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah.
And I was watching Dave Chappelle the other day. He's like, I'm from Ohio. You know what people have from Ohio? Heroin. I'm like, what? I did not do that joke justice. I don't even think I just glossed over it, but oh my gosh. So true.
Yeah, I mean, there's such a far reach of the sex trafficking it's disgusting.
It is.
It's disgusting, and it scares the hell out of me because now that I have
Oh yeah.
now that I have a daughter,
Well, hold on.
she's
We gotta step
I-
back.
I
Congrats.
thank you. I have to.
Did we congratulate you? Have we recorded since?
No,
Oh, well then,
no,
yeah.
because she was
big
literally
congrats.
born last
Congrats,
weekend,
yeah.
so.
Big news. Yeah.
Whopping news.
Oh, good news, everyone. My professor actually used that in a
You did tell me that
presentation
yesterday.
this week, and I was the only one that laughed. The only one.
So kind of backpedaling a little bit, the NCAA essentially prostitutes these kids and makes a giant profit off of their sales and everything. And California just passed this last week that the students whose their sales of their jerseys and everything, they can get a portion of the sales, which is great because I think that these student athletes, because they have to dedicate all this time to it and do their schoolwork because they are required to keep some sort of GPA.
Well,
Yeah.
Hold on. They probably have someone doing their work for them.
Well, okay,
Well,
I'm
that's-
not. They have.
that's another-
that would
that's
just
another
that would
thing.
just be a blanket statement.
They still have to maintain some sort of
yeah.
GPA
Yes, I
to
understand.
get
They need to
there,
attend.
whether they show up to class or not, regardless.
Yeah,
But essentially, they're working, with this
they're working,
trying to become a professional athlete
which is
and training and all of these practice times and everything. It's essentially a full-time job, and they make zero. So these kids that, they rack up all, if they
apologize.
get lucky enough, the small percentage that get lucky enough to make a professional stage, get drafted or whatever, they get to pay all that off. But then everybody else who was putting in the time and the effort and everything else, but they didn't have that skill level to make it to pro sports, they are stuck with all this student loans and debt and everything, and then they have to work it down, just like the rest of us. But, I think that they deserve some sort of compensation, whether it be part-time salary or whatever,
Well,
I think
to
it's
cover.
I think it's gonna have to be something that they work out the kinks, because this could easily be corruptible.
well,
Because
they also
well, no,
say
I'm saying it could be very corruptible, because if they're making this money now, and if they're a very big name, then they can use those proceeds to pay off whoever, like their teachers or whatever, and just be like,
I don't think they would do that.
well, no,
I
I'm
think they would probably buy
I'm
stupid
saying there
stuff.
is potential to do that.
I don't agree.
I mean, there's
I-
potential to do
Anything,
anything,
yeah,
but
that's
I
fair.
mean, we're gonna focus on the positive here as a step in the right direction, because that is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
What California finally did. They made a step in the
and,
right
and-
direction.
and,
towards,
and I don't even think a lot of schools will be on board with it
no,
because
I don't either.
a
It's
lot
gonna
of
be too
people
much of a
a
hit
lot
for
of
them.
people say that their scholarship is their payment.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that's
but
not
that's
a fair.
bullshit.
That's not a fair thing
But
to
that's
say.
just a drop in a bucket because
It
that's
is small drop in the
so.
bucket.
So let's just say you go to Ohio State. I think that's let's say that's $50,000 a year. So out of those 4 years,
Guesstimation.
yeah, the guesstimation. So out of those 4 years, you gotta well, depending how good you are,
Mhm.
how much money did you make compared to the tuition cost? I mean,
Right.
Ohio State's making out.
Right, and it's these students' names who's on the jersey. They're selling the numbers and the name on the back, and they're right. They should be compensated for it because it's their name. It's not the school's name
No.
on there. The fans and everything are buying the player's jersey, and then when they go and it turns into, say they're a stud and they get drafted to the NFL or wherever, and their name gets big, well, guess what? You can go and turn around. You can go to some of these trade shows and stuff like that and sell that jersey for a high dollar amount to some collector or anything like that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's multiple layers to this whole thing, and they should be
should
able
be-
to
they-
get compensated.
There should be bonuses for like if you win the Heisman.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So
Yeah.
kind
No,
of
I
going
100% agree.
kind of going on the same track of football. So I was going through fantasy football this morning.
Yeah.
So I was gonna I was looking at defenses.
Oh, jeez.
I wouldn't suggest grabbing
So
Miami's defense.
I wasn't going to.
Okay, good.
So
Because
you know
they're
what's
playing
funny?
the Pats.
So you know what's funny? So I looked at the Dolphins D, and the outlook for it.
Oh God.
It says, and I'm quoting, "Why are you reading this? Just for fun? We assume you'd never consider using a defense that just gave up 59 points against arguably the greatest quarterback ever the week he gets one of the greatest receivers ever to join his team."
That's on
end quote.
ESPN.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
I gotta look
why
that-
were
I
you
gotta
looking
see
at that?
That's hilarious.
Because I saw something on someone like on Twitter was like, "Yo, look at the Dolphins
Oh
D,"
my
and I was like, "Okay."
Oh,
So,
that's really funny. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't real.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that. So it made me giggle. Made me giggle.
Oh, that's really funny. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
There was a couple things that you want to talk about science.
Oh, yes.
Science.
So we'll kind of. So we all have bad eyesight, right?
Well, I mean, all
What a-
three of us wear glasses.
What a
I
transition.
mean, I've got a magnetism. Yes, astigmatism. I'm not stupid. I just wanted to say it fun.
Can you lean closer to the mic?
I'm sorry.
So, which is very exciting. Okay, there's some news. We might be able to cure our eyesight.
Mm.
Hmm?
I like my glasses. I look stupid without them. But that's only because I wore them since I was in second
Yeah.
grade.
So this might be something you might want, so you don't buy glasses. So Harvard is actually doing a study for the aging eye. So they're potentially putting like a little bacteria in your eye,
Mhm.
and it will eat all the,
All
Gum-
the like scar tissue and stuff like that.
And it will actually potentially like give you back your old eyesight, like cure your blindness.
Or it'll make you blind.
No.
There's
So-
only
so
two,
they-
two ways this could go.
So
Yeah.
they actually just did I mean, it's about to be in clinical trials soon.
No kidding.
They tested it with old rats, and they found that it cured their blindness.
Okay.
So
Is there like some sort of like ladder that they go up, or do they just go from rats to humans?
No, there's
a rat is like a mammal, so everything in
Yeah.
a mammal should be pretty much the same.
yeah. So then they
So
go
we're
from
mammals.
that, and then they do
Well, no.
a small trial on humans who volunteer.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm asking, because some companies use rats, others use animals like dogs, cats.
Chimpanzees.
Usually,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
usually for like scientists and stuff, they usually do rats. Way to
Sorry.
go!
My mistake.
Way to go!
Spilled the
Well, I guess just I'm curious because I feel like if we're because okay, something being diabetic, I know that if Kevin eats something, because he's diabetic as well, it might affect him differently than if I ate it.
Yeah.
So not everybody's going to be the same.
No.
So, if we're testing this on rats,
Again, this is why we're doing clinical trials.
wouldn't
It's
Yeah.
not officially
well,
out.
no,
not-
no, no,
no,
no,
it's-
and I understand
There's
that.
going to be
That's what-
side effects and all sorts of stuff.
Well,
to any type of treatment.
So they found that the outcome for the rats is actually been permanent so far. So
Yeah, because when we were in the hospital with Ava last weekend, because we donated the cord blood,
Mhm.
so they pull whatever
is that like
stem cells.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
pull whatever stem cells they can out of the umbilical cord, and they either use it. They'll be able to treat somebody with it, or they'll be able to donate usable stem cells to testing trials.
Mhm.
And they
Speaking of diabetes.
Yeah, I know. I'm focusing right now. I'm sorry. I don't think Ava's was able to be used for treating anybody. Lucas's was, and Caden's was not. So, I was actually, I told them that you and I were on Children's Congress for stem cell research. And they were kind of like, oh, well, what's that about? And I said, because we're both type 1 diabetics. I said, I'm type 1 diabetic, and, the stem cell research was to revive our pancreas type stuff.
Yeah.
And, I went into it and explained a little bit of it, and they're like, yeah, they're using it to treat spinal injuries and everything now. And he said there's some testing going on for treating diabetes. And they said that they're going through trials, like the rat thing, like the eyesight thing. They're going through trials and seeing where it can go, and if they can implement it. But that was going on about 20 years ago, 18 years ago.
Everything moves so slow.
When we went to Children's Congress.
And I don't know how much you keep up with kind of the different things that are going on. I know
I don't.
I'll come around, like I'll come across some articles on diabetes. It'll lead me into a couple things. Like there was an article I read.
Well, you have to watch where you get your information too.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. This guy, he created essentially a pump for his son, but it was a self-sustaining pump, so it like detected when he was getting insulin. It detected his blood sugar levels and whatnot.
Sure now.
Well,
I don't.
It was one that his dad made,
more recent.
and they funded it. They got it through FDA approved, and it's, I don't know what stage it's in now, but he was looking for people to fund it. So like it's something that can be done.
Yeah.
And his son is like, I think his son was like
I wonder
9,
how that
9 or
works.
10.
Does it turn the glucose or whatever, the sugar in the blood into?
I'm not sure.
Into insulin, or
I couldn't
I'd
come
be curious
across much
to see
with,
how that works.
I couldn't come across much with the
because being, for everybody who doesn't know, being a type 1 diabetic, your pancreas, which produces your insulin, fails, and it cannot produce insulin to sustain or to control the glucose amount that's in your bloodstream.
And this is one of the biggest things that people don't really understand is type 1 diabetes is your pancreas is essentially shut down for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Type 2 is due to more obese, poor diet.
Yes.
Stuff similar to that, where your pancreas is...
Or it could be onset to pancreas failure, which will in turn turn you into
type 1
diabetic.
And then there's a third type that's only for pregnant women. So, but if you get if a pregnant woman gets that, then they're more likely. They're more likely to have type 2 in the future.
And before we kind of get away from it too much, stem cells. For people who don't necessarily know what stem cells are essentially blank cells. You put them into an injury that you have. You put them into like Kevin had said, the pancreas, and they substitute all of the cells that are broken, dead, and whatnot to kind of revive and give essential anything that you need to help revitalize the broken part of you. So when you have a spinal injury,
and the stem cells can
they're blank.
They can bind to any
they see
extremity
what's
or
needed.
any organ to repair it, essentially.
So this is actually perfect. It's leading into my next science article. The medicine for type 2 diabetes, metformin.
Oh, yeah.
So they have found that like intermittent use, like not like every day, actually has the effects to take some time off your biological clock, So I'm 22.
You tell
so
Dad.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, we did.
But
tell Dad.
it's not like for like regular use. Like it's like the intermittent, along
So
with
if
like
you-
exercise and stuff.
If you use it on a regular basis, it won't have that sort of effect,
Well,
like on a daily basis.
again, it's
Is
still
this true?
early.
Didn't Elon? Or no, this was on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah. Actually, both of them have been on Joe Rogan. The one, the Aging Eye, was a scientist from Harvard that
Yeah.
was talking about it, and then this one might have been the same guy actually.
If anybody's looking for an excellent podcast out there to listen to, it's Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
Very informative and very.
Well, he just has.
He covers
like,
a broad range
Yeah.
of things.
yes, they're having a great time up there.
Yeah, we've essentially got a train in the house.
Yeah, my boys are playing with their wooden train tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, he just has a wide variety of people, and like credible people. So it's like he just had
It's not like
a
he's
guy.
having just some Joe Schmo come off the streets.
He's
No.
not some Hey Hermano guy. Or something.
Yeah, right.
We give good information here, okay?
I have articles,
try.
man.
Yeah,
I mean, I have articles. They're real. They're real.
I've got them articles.
I try to get.
Credible sources.
I really try because there's a lot of fake
Fake news out there.
stuff.
Vaccines cause autism.
Don't even get me started. Don't
Kevin,
even.
are you gonna vaccinate your children?
Both of us. Don't even get Josh and me started.
Actually,
It's so irritating.
I remember on Three Dudes Babbling, you got into that, and you went pretty, and
Oh.
believe me, I feel the exact same way. I don't have any children, but I feel the exact same way. And the podcast that I'm listening to right now, this dude started going off. He was like, listen,
I just don't understand.
my son has autism, and I don't care if he got it from the vaccines. I don't care what the reason is. He's not going to die from measles.
Yes.
So
No.
Yes.
if you're stupid and you don't want to get your kids vaccinated, then you don't deserve to have kids.
That's
You-
bottom line.
That is
bottom line.
That is borderline child abuse.
It's a death
it
sentence.
is-
It is
it
is
child
a death
abuse.
sentence.
Yeah.
And
In this world too?
Okay,
You know-
we're okay. Let's get off this track. Wewe're gonna
Sorry, we
Okay,
have
so
autism.
talking about the
Sorry.
metformin
Oh, sorry.
reversing.
We were vaccinated. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, everybody in this house was vaccinated. My wife was. The boys were. Ava's already got.
That
She's
explains
already
everything.
got the start.
Explains
the
everything.
start of her vaccines
Yeah,
and stuff.
they started when they were in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, just because you have autism doesn't mean you are. You can do everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
there's functioning autistic.
You're actually
It's
borderline
very
probably
functioning.
smarter than some of us.
Yeah.
Because they are so fascinated or fixated on one particular thing that they can just name it, like in
Yeah.
instant.
And
What?
the thing about some autistic is, yes, it's very brutal. Is
Oh, it's hard.
different.
It's hard.
There's
it's
different.
very, very difficult.
There's different.
And there's
levels
others
of
that are,
autism.
you're borderline genius,
Mhm.
and it's such a wide range.
Well,
And
I think they're all.
honestly, it's not a curse.
No.
It's learning how to deal with it. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. None of my kids are autistic or anything,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't speak from their perspective. But there's all different levels of stuff, and that's they can function and they can be geniuses or,
Mhm.
or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not a curse. It's
See, and okay, we just stated that when we try to present articles to you guys, we do the research on it.
Well,
The thing is, like we said, articles out there are false. There are some articles out there that are not true. They're false.
I read,
They-
I read
it's-
an article that a guy didn't believe in stretching. He's like, stretching doesn't do anything.
unbelievable.
I'm like,
This whole thing with vaccines causing autism started because a scientist in the UK was paid off for a bank or by a bank in the UK to put something out so that the bank can increase money so that it was a big thing like that.
It was a whole.
And
The whole thing was a sham.
It was a huge sham.
He
was
posted it
found
with-
out.
He posted it without any like.
There's no
Any
there's no documentation. There's
or
no
any factual
there's
statements.
no experiments in it. There's nothing. It
It's
is
like-
false, and it's like it goes into that whole thing where people need to find out where they get
Well,
their information from.
So here's the thing. So he put that thing out there, and it's already out there. So people read it and people believe it, and that's where you get the problems. People believe everything that they read. They don't do the research.
Yep.
And even though you tell them to do it, they're like, I'll believe this guy.
The same thing goes down for voting too.
Oh, absolutely.
Please not. No, let's not.
But we're not going down.
Well,
that
no,
path,
it's
I
just
vote
you
for
guys.
Theresa May and her dancing.
but- okay. If
You
you're
guys
if you're
need
gonna
to
vote, please
understand,
educate
yes.
yourself on
And this is
whatever you believe, and then vote for that.
if anybody wants to say whatever the hell you want about politics, do your research first,
Thank you.
and then you can go ahead and say whatever the hell you want. As long as you're informed, then I'll listen to you.
Don't make blanket
And
statements.
that is as
If-
political as we're gonna get here.
Yes.
Done.
That is it, and I'm being as vague as I can. I've got my own political views. I know Kevin has his own. Josh has his own. We're not trying to push them on anybody.
Yep.
We just want to have fun with this, and we just want to let you guys know you need to be informed.
Yep.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
I thought of the Jimmy Neutron episode where they're in a band and Jimmy's dad comes. He's like, whatever you do, have fun with it.
Oh my god.
I was vaccinated. I don't know what.
I think of Jimmy Neutron, I just think of the Lima being underneath the bed. Or Carl being pregnant, one or the other.
Yeah.
Scapula. If anyone doesn't know Jimmy Neutron,
Oh, good cartoon
Just-
from the early 2000s.
just stop.
Okay, so we got
So we're gonna
we
go
got
into
a new
more.
we're gonna do a segment every now and then. It's gonna be a short snippet. It's called Heroes of Humanity.
Heroes
And
of humanity.
Eventually, we might do some music or something to it. That'd be kind of funny. But there
We're gonna
was
do some music, yeah.
a hurricane that hit the Bahamas real bad last week.
Oh no.
Hurricane Dorian.
Oh no.
And there was, and I saw this posted on Facebook. There was some gentleman who was buying a generator
Soup.
for his house, and he was in Costco, and they were the generators were $450 a piece, and there was another guy standing next to him, and he was buying 100 of them, along with food and all sorts of other stuff to send to the Bahamas to help with all the power outages and everything like that,
Yeah.
and all the destruction that was caused from the hurricane. And you know, things like that really make you know that there is, even though there's so much negativity and everything that's always in the news and everything like that, there is great people out there still.
Oh yeah.
You know what's
And
free?
it's not talked about enough, but a simple gesture like that, yeah, it's
Well, even holding the door open.
yeah,
That
just
changes the world.
Just a simple, or giving somebody a smile when they look
Yeah.
sad.
You know, that's what I was gonna say. You know what's free? A smile.
Yeah.
Makes someone's day better.
Speak for yourself. It cost me $1 to smile.
That sucks. Who bribed you into that?
Nobody. They forced me into it.
I need a better
So I mean, that's this guy. Just for the generators alone, is $45,000, and that's a donation for him, and it's obviously he's making enough money or anything like that
you know
to
who should
do, and he wants to make a positive impact.
You know
on the
who should
world.
do something?
What?
Oh god, what's his name? Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. He
That guy,
should.
that guy just made $1 billion right now. Oh, again.
Yeah.
Another one.
Right. His
Well-
wife's getting most of it, or his ex-wife now is getting most of it.
How
though.
messed up is that?
Yeah, it is what it is.
There's
You know what? She was there from the beginning, so
Yeah,
It's- it's the thing that's
money
really
changes people.
it does.
the thing that's really unfortunate, and it was amazing to see when what was the cathedral in France?
Notre Dame.
Notre
But what-
Dame.
Yeah.
When
But I
that
wish-
caught fire, okay, the fire wasn't as bad as they thought, and yet look at all the money that was donated to them
Mm-hmm.
in the span of what, like 24 to 48
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Like, that
It
was amazing.
Outstanding.
I
And
what
really
about-
wish that people would do that.
What about
You know,
for the
it's like,
rainforest too? I wish someone would do something for that too.
actually, you know, speaking of that, I know I saw Cristiano Ronaldo actually hired like a fleet of helicopters to start dumping water and whatnot.
That's messed up. What they did there. Like why
Okay, I'm lost. What are you talking about?
in the
What are you
Amazon,
talking
in the Amazon rainforest, they just started burning it.
Who?
The Brazilian president said it was okay. So the Amazon was on fire for like a couple days. Actually, it might have been longer.
What are you talking about?
You don't
What?
know that?
Are you talking about the rainforest that's been burning for the last like month?
That's the Amazon.
And he started it. He
The
said
Brazilian
it was okay?
president said it was okay, and the farmers started burning it. What?
Okay, do they not know what scorched earth policy is?
I don't even know what that
it?
is.
Is that
Okay,
Can you tell us, Mr. President?
Yeah, come on, Mr. President.
During World War II,
Yeah, where they just burn their
when
crops.
or it might have been when Napoleon was coming in.
It was okay.
That was far before.
Okay,
World
yeah,
War
but
II.
okay, regardless, Napoleon
That's abroad. That's a
Napoleon
200-year
trying to invade Russia, huge mistake. They ended up getting starved
Well,
out,
anyone-
and they
any-
sucked.
Yeah.
Well, like how they did it.
Hitler trying to go in, they would invade a town, and the Russians were just like, you know what, you're not going to get to us. So they burned their towns. They went inward. They burned their towns, and they went inward. You cannot grow.
They just threw
You
people
cannot
in it.
grow on things like that. It's you're essentially traveling. You have no food. There's no line of anything. You're in the middle of the winter. You can't do anything with it. So scorched earth policy means that you can't grow crap. You're essentially just marching inward until you have nothing else left.
Are you serious? You didn't see anything about that?
No. I mean, to be fair, the only news or anything that because there's so much negativity in the news, the only news that I really pay attention to are sports.
Yeah,
And I mean, even some of the stuff from sports is
that's even a
negative,
bit of a far. Yeah, it's a stretch.
especially anything surrounding Antonio Brown.
But that was a nice Heroes of Humanity.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I believe we should do is leave a positive impact on the world and some just on a small scale. It doesn't even have to be.
You don't need much.
monumental.
You don't
just-
need much.
just-
You start with one person.
Just someone's going through some stuff, and they don't need another guy being an a-hole.
Well, and people. For those of you listening, you guys just think about it like this, okay? You don't know what that person on the bus is going through. You don't know what that person you just walked by is dealing with. It's like everybody's got their own problems, and yeah, your problems might suck, but sometimes helping out other people, it makes somebody else's day, and it makes you feel good about it too.
Yep. All right. Is there? What else we got here? Anything?
Do we want to talk about Antonio Brown?
No, I'm waiting.
Sports
I don't
out.
want to give that drama queen any more of my
Yeah.
time.
But it's interesting. I mean,
What's
I have
interesting
a,
about
well,
it? Is
I
it
have a
though?
diversity class, so it gives me a different perspective. And
Okay.
his
How are you guys already discussing the differences and stuff on that?
what?
I feel like the
Can
whole
you be
story is
louder?
not told yet.
No, we're
It's
just
it's diversity in sports.
No, I'm talking about. I feel like the whole Antonio Brown thing is not.
It's
So
not,
we
It's
have
not
to wait.
finished right.
yeah. So we have to
Right now.
wait for it to study it.
It can be studied.
Well, yeah. A
there
little
was
bit.
there's so
I
many
feel like
different
if
things.
you
There's
put the
so
cart
many
in front
red
of the
flags
horse.
to what he did this year.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of people are saying,
Which is why I've
was
in
this
every single draft.
a plan? I mean, he also posted. I mean, the call that
Oh yeah, I talked to you about this the other
the
day.
call that he posted was kind of. I mean, he was like, "Hey man, I want you." The coach was like, "Hey man, I just want you to be a Raider." He's like, "I've been trying to be a Raider. Every day I've been, fighting. I want to play football, He's like, but I'm more than just a football player. I'm a person, and it just seems like they kind of brushed that off.
Like there was a deeper.
Yeah, there was like
a deeper thing to the Raiders treated him.
Yeah, than just him. You know,
it could have been the same thing for Pittsburgh too.
Yeah, exactly. So it could have been. I mean, but I don't think he's dumb enough to do something to his feet.
No, I think that was
if
legitimately accident.
Well, I
don't even know what was going on with that.
He did cryogenics.
Cryotherapy. Which cryotherapy is like negative something like 200 degrees or something like that.
Yeah, you get. Do you know what cryotherapy is?
No. Like 5 seconds and then you.
Yeah, you essentially freeze off.
There's like excess bad skin.
There's all sorts of. You have to have a proper wrappings and everything so you don't get frostbitten so bad. And the wrappings he had on his feet were not the right wrappings, so his feet ended up getting frostbitten.
Well, I just feel like there was some more like why would you do that to your body if you weren't treated like correctly? If you felt like so disrespected, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this to my feet. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? I mean, there's so many
pain.
Again, there's so many layers to the story. I mean, do I necessarily believe him the whole time? No. Do I necessarily believe the Raiders the whole time? No. It's
and
there's only one. It literally only shows like one side of the story. You only see the surface level of it. There's no players coming out and say, "Hey, man, they were treating him wrong," or that I don't know why he's.
Well, I don't think anybody who play for the Raiders are going to come out and say that because
they're playing for the Raiders.
They're playing for the Raiders, and there's probably something on the line there.
So
in order for them to,
so there might be something.
This is why I say what I say about kind of waiting for things to kind of finish up before they get discussed, because if something happens, I mean, we can discuss it all day long, but if it's not even real, then.
But we might. I mean, it is real. It's 100% real.
It is real. Yeah.
Well, no, that's 100% real. I'm had saying, like, problems with the Raiders.
We're getting one side of the story. Until we get the other, I mean, maybe he was causing problems for the Raiders as well.
We're getting both sides of the story.
What I think the whole thing was, and I actually think the Patriots were behind.
Yeah.
Were behind it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people were saying
Patriots,
that too.
Well, when Antonio Brown was causing all the problems for the Steelers, all the locker room drama and everything like that, the Patriots wanted to buy him. They were going to give him, first round, a couple. There were some draft picks and some money, and
they didn't want to do it.
They didn't. The Steelers came out and said, "No, we're not trading you to a rival."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get it.
Whatever.
That's honestly stupid on the Steelers' part.
Yeah.
Because they could have got some draft capital and some other stuff.
They could have been a lot different.
They could have been better off instead of. I mean, they still got draft picks and everything from the Raiders, and so they sold them to the Raiders. But I think there was a meeting or a phone call or something that happened between the Patriots and Antonio Brown saying,
also, did you
listen? You're gonna go to the Raiders,
and then we're gonna
you're gonna cause a bunch of drama. We want you to do whatever you can to get out of there, because then when you get out of there, we're gonna sign you. And literally at the day
it was an hour.
The day he was released, he was signed with the Patriots.
Well, did you see his reaction to how he got released?
Yeah, oh yeah, he was jumping for joy.
Yeah. So I don't know. It goes both ways. Like
it's collusion.
If it was collusion,
I mean, I have no solid evidence to back this theory up.
No,
it is only a theory.
It's all speculation,
and I have to state that so nothing happens.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
They're like, oh, what, do you have an insider scoop or something?
Yeah, I don't need that.
Like, and then again, if it was more than that, if it wasn't actually the Patriots didn't do anything, his reaction.
Yeah.
His
reaction was genuine.
Says a lot.
Yeah, because it was posted on Twitter.
Yeah.
If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Are you a duck?
Quack.
Love ducks.
Quack, quack.
Ducks. Arthur, classic.
So maybe we'll talk. Well, here, what?
Huh?
what music you guys listen to now. Anything good? Any recommendations? Music
no.
recommendations?
Hold on.
I know we're jumping around all over the place.
This is what we'll probably end it. Let me look at my.
I know.
We'll do it quick. We can do this real quick.
Yeah,
and then
we can
end
do
it.
this because I know there's one thing that I wanted to do. Just maybe like a weekly thing whenever we record and do like a local artist shout out or like just an artist shout out in general.
Yeah, so we can tie that in.
Yeah,
right here.
I know a local band, and actually we had him on at one point when we
on Three Dudes
when we introduced Complexions, and unfortunately I don't believe they're together anymore. I think they ended up splitting up. But the guitarist from Complexions, Zach, he is now with a local band called Titans in Time.
It's actually kind of a cool name.
It is, and it's a lot of it has to do with like the Greek mythology, and they do a lot of stuff like that. Real cool. I met the guys in the band. You know, I watched them play a couple times, and they're fantastic.
Good.
They really put on a good show.
Good.
They're very talented, and you know, it's maybe we'll have to reach out to them and see if we can have them on, talk to them. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good suggestion for me.
Yeah.
They're a little heavier, but
like heavy rock or like hard rock.
I'd say more hard rock
or like hard alternative type deal or.
I think it's more heavier.
Okay. All right, 3 bands you're listening to right now. Suggestions.
Okay. A Marionette. They're heavier. The singer he's got an awesome voice.
All right, we're not going into depth.
Yeah,
I know.
Just
I know.
surface
And
level stuff.
That's just it. Group Love. Feel good music.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing to drive down the road to. And then one that always gets me is Good Old War.
Yeah. Okay. Josh, 3 bands you listen to right now.
You know, I haven't really been listening to bands. I've been listening to podcasts. That's all.
3 suggestions right now.
3 suggestions. I mean, obviously. I mean, Joe Rogan. That's just a given. But
okay, we're going to 3 podcast suggestions, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on, man. I'm going. This is what I listen to now.
Okay, that's fine.
3 favorite bands.
Get the hell out. So I listen to the H.3 podcast too.
Yeah.
Kind of entertaining.
Okay.
Like.
Kind of entertaining. That's a good way to say it.
But more recent, it's been like, and then let's see. I don't know. I have like a weekly rotation. Like I listen to, like Your Mom's House on like a Wednesday.
All right, there's your 3.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Now you.
3 bands I've been listening to: Seosin, Cake. Completely 2 different ends there. Cake is just, they're feel good.
They really are.
Yeah.
And Mozart. That would have been a wild one. Biggie Smalls?
No.
No, it's been older. Because I'll get into work and Spotify will open up on my computer and it'll show me what you listened to last. No, you were listening to Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah,
last week.
I was listening to Led Zeppelin. That was last week. Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
So I gave you 4. So.
Well, that's just what you were listening to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean.
Our taste of music goes from a wide range.
Yes.
Very wide range.
Oh yeah.
So
I would say we have a diverse.
Very diverse. Yes.
But
we all listen to kind of the same stuff, though.
I think you actually need a diverse palette for music, because it just gets you different insight for a lot of different culture in a way.
Yeah, different cultures, different emotions too.
Yeah,
makes you feel different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So if you only listen to radio songs, come on, Chief.
And you know, I feel all sorts of ways about music. I love music. It's something that I really feel passionate about. If I ever had the chance, I'd love to learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to play the piano.
Yeah, I wanted to.
But I need to put some time into it.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of wanted to give producing a try. Again, I've never
Intro,
done
okay.
anything into it. I
Start
think it
a
would be.
band.
I think it would be really really
Let's
fun
start a band,
to.
Alec.
But it's just music has been around since humans.
Hey, Hermano, the band.
Humans. It's like just sitting around the fire. You know, during caveman time, they have records of different little instruments that would make different noises
Okay.
when they're sitting there.
Some musical history.
Yeah, well, a
From,
little bit.
From
Yeah.
Alec.
Well, it's just the point I'm getting at
Dr.
is
Smooch.
Yeah, Dr. Smooch, the love
I've been
doctor,
making some beats.
Dr. Smooch. But
Sounds
you know,
great.
it's like there's a reason why music's been around for so long. It's like it's a good way to express how you feel.
Yeah, it
You know?
is.
So
It is. And on that note,
I
gonna
express
go ahead
how
and go.
I'm feeling right now that this episode's done.
hooray!
Hooray!
Or oh,
Pick one. I don't care which one
We're
it
going
is.
with,
You
aw.
finish the episode.
all right, guys. We will be back next week or later this week. We're getting on a schedule on when we're recording. We might make this a regular thing on Sunday mornings. What do we got? Gotta make a Facebook. Kevin's got to do that. We follow us on Twitter. We have Snapchat or no? No Snapchat. We don't have a website.
Find us on Twitter.
Listen to Three Dudes Babbling too.
Yeah.
It's
we're
on. This is
we're
actually
our
on 3D
station.
Family.
Yeah,
so-
we're on their station right now. We're looking into
We're
having
gonna be
we're gonna be getting our
branching
own.
out and getting our own station because we need to. It overlaps. You can't even search for us yet.
So yeah, if you guys can and you enjoy what you heard so far, the first 3 episodes we've done, then
Yeah,
shoot us
keep
shoot
on
us a
following.
message on Three Dudes Babbling. Let us know what you guys are thinking of
Yeah.
of the thing, and let us know if you're gonna continue listening. So, or don't, and just keep listening.
Oh, Josh is whispering in the mic. All right, we're out. Later, guys.
See ya.